And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Song 6 on the cliffhanger of this battle. We will take command. We are very slightly outnumbered, but I don't think that'll be a concern here. Again, because I think we have better equipment in the form of more spears. Okay, that's our formations. We start the battle. We have the enemy come to us. And yeah, it's one big stack of poorly equipped guys and one small stack of probably pretty poorly equipped guys, to be fair. Yeah. Okay, that's him engaged. Numbers are on their side, although we'll be probably inflicting more casualties than we're taking because of the better weapons and slightly better armor. Very slightly better armor. We also have more melee training than they do. So we should be a little bit better at landing kills, landing casualties. And they are. We're down 2 guys. I've already lost 7. We now have number parity. We now have number superiority. There goes one of the smaller unit breaking. Get the flank on the remaining unit. Do a little bit more morale damage to it by attacking in the rear. Numbers are now on our side. We are up just short of 200. They're down to 160. There it goes. That's basically in the fight here. $208 defeated for the cost of 6 of ours. There we go, occupying the city. Give them an inn to give them some place to appreciate them being part of the new empire. And yeah, give it a little while for the city to calm down before we go march on the last exposed free territories. And we managed to pick up, or we'll, by the end of this, manage to pick up 6 of, I think, the 12 that we saw that were free from the collapse of Arcola. You can see the other regions did pick some of those up in the meantime. Just spending on the one, right? Spent some on you as well. We'll pull those ones back. Gives me 4 more points to spend on you. Okay, so we've picked up the Merciful. So now going forward, I don't necessarily need to pick the Mercy option every time. Not have that title. Okay, so that should take us up to 6 here, which should mean I should be able to negotiate an alliance with them. We'll see how easy it is to maintain without trying to have all the diplomats assigned to one place. I don't make enough fabric to run the fabric bonus in the embassy. Well, that would be tempting. So I've got 206 odd jobbers free. So I could definitely expand an industry of some sort. And there is an argument to be expanding weapon production. So that would be one way to make the guard more intimidating. On the same note, I do need more guard for army. Oh, it's quarter for army. So I actually technically have enough right now because I've got 29%. Okay, there must be some rounding going on there because don't have 29%. I've got 29% for the number here. But well, maybe that's including the army and not just the garrison. Because 1,025, we'll say well, 1.1 would be about right, but it's still a little higher than it should be. You might be including the 200 I have on the map. That would come out to about 29%. See that. Okay, so maybe I don't need to rush into expanding the army. Just expanding the equipment would be enough. And then I suppose I got 200 armor, so I can tell one of our local units swap over to the metal armor. And we have on patrol. Just get it doing something productive. Get a little more guard power out of that. The more guard power we get, the more loyalty we get for doing tyranny, which is kind of what we want. I've been holding off doing metal because I think everyone hates metal production, right? Yeah. Well, actually, not everyone hates metal smelting. No one likes metal smelting except for the Dendorians. I definitely don't need more tasks assigned to the Dendorians. I could probably get more Garthimi. And they're neutral on metal smelting. They're a little inefficient at it, but then I can work with that. So that's a good question. How many Garthimi? We got no inspiring immigrants on the Garthimi at the moment. How many Garthimi do I have just not doing particularly great jobs? Suited for them, I suppose. 72 on you. So they're probably mostly doing holing. 45 of them doing holing, which I could free up and make those be humans pretty easily. They're also doing the hunting, okay. Interesting, so they're definitely doing something somewhere. Unless they're that might be my main odd jobber. That's an interesting question. Worry. Oh no, the humans are all the odd jobbers. Okay, so they're all doing something. The odd one that isn't. Not exactly sure what they're all doing. They're all doing something. Yeah, so the system's not very good for seeing who's doing what. They're also one of the groups that I can probably do a lot more to breed in more. And also appreciate more immigrants and migrants. Oh, I see. They're because we're not getting very good conversion on them. Again, that's another argument for trying to build the Grand Temple. Decking of the Grand Temple. What am I missing for decking the Grand Temple? Get 210. Knowledge, so non-trivial amount of knowledge. And yeah, just grab those pillars at this point. Oh, no, I got enough graveyards, okay. Actually, well, I did. Maybe I don't have enough graveyards. I think if anything, I have enough graveyards, but everyone else doesn't. Might be a decent place for a graveyard, I suppose. It's not fertile enough for farming or anything. Not a mass grave, I want a regular grave. terrible graveyard either, so I'll go ahead and plop some of this in the neighborhoods. For you. Same sort of logic over here. That's not particularly great land farming on anyway. I think it was those two main communities. The humans probably one of them as well, because there's so many humans. Yeah, the humans could probably do another one as well. Okay, so that should help with the graveyards. If I can get happiness, or the happiness sign up, we can get more migration going again. At the moment, there's no interest in migration. They're all loyal enough that we're not having any problems, but it doesn't necessarily help the city with growing. Oh, and I've got more furniture, I can do more benches. Okay, so let's go neighborhood by neighborhood. So humans, environment-wise, want benches, sculptures, and nature. Okay. So nature's trees. I'm probably overkilling it with the trees, but overkilling it's probably better than underkilling it. Let's just throw a bunch of trees in. Around all the human habitation areas. Oh, I suppose we're doing flowers as well. These are the humans, we'll just do trees. They want nature, we'll give them nature. That's one of the reasons we made these roads as big as they were, is that we have space to come back through and do things like trees and statues and stuff. Okay, so they want trees. Well, they want nature. They want nature, they're getting trees. That's how I'm gonna roll. They also want sculptures. Technically, they wanted 12% nature, and they want 12% sculptures. So next is going to be sculptures here in decoration. Statue or pillar. So statue is that. Pillar is that. Both are cut stone. Oh, forgot the trees in that bit. And after this, we'll come back and do benches. And then we'll move on to the next race. The only race we're not going to appease with environment is the Garthimi, primarily because they want humidifiers, and they want a lot of humidifiers usually. And everyone else dislikes humidifiers. And at the same time, they also don't want torches, but I'm doing torches for in the case of the Garthimi area, I'm doing it for the law effect. So the Garthimi are just going to have to deal with that people are watching what they're doing in the dark. Next is benches. Which is technically a service need. So people will come seek out benches, which sort of by definition here now is forcing them to come enjoy the statues and the trees. Oh, benches cost stone. Used to cost furniture. I realized they cost stone earlier. Would have done benches earlier. Because I'm importing in the form of taxes stone. So stone is really cheap for me, comparatively speaking. Shintaro VI, the great nation of Saperlin. Supreme ruler of Saperlin, I am your neighbor and welcome you to the lands. I wish you a pleasant and hopefully peaceful stay. Please accept this humble gift. Okay. Okay, so we're going to give it a moment to have that build out, see if that's enough for the humans. In the meantime, the army has recovered, so the army can go lay siege to the next city. And that is you. Yeah. Don't. Game's gonna be weird sometimes. Why would I willingly give away territory? The barter situation can be a little weird. An alliance is quite expensive, so we're not quite ready for that. In this case, it's actually offering a suggestion where I do not give away territory. I give away a couple slaves, which I'm actually on board with. Oh, actually... No, again, it would be giving away a couple slaves. I could do this. I'd rather it be more money. This is a little bit rich for my taste in stuff. We're going to be looking out to potentially get that alliance with them going. Well, those benches came in pretty nicely. Okay, so let's turn speed down. Let's see Valley White. So environment. Trending up. It's going to be a while before we see if it's truly trended all the way up. And then surface access to benches also trending up. Okay, so before I add more, let's assume for the moment that it is enough for all the human areas. Next is the... Well, next up I'm going to say is the Catonians. The Catonians want nature. They don't want sculptures, they just want nature. They'll also appreciate some benches. So we can go into their area with trees and start distributing trees. Maybe didn't have enough tree space over there. That's a start at least. It's the southern neighborhood, and the northern neighborhood as well. We'll do both neighborhoods at the same time. They probably want more trees than the humans want, so I'll have to probably put more in. Start with that. Well, that's a housing block as well. You'll want some trees. And honestly, some more torches. Okay, then we'll need some benches. Easy enough to do. Come in, bench. And of course, we'll want to do both north and south. That's the north side. And the south side. Okay, give them some time to actually get that built out. And we start the siege. We'll see if that number of trees helps. How much nature access do they actually want? 25%. So they arguably want twice as many trees as the humans do. So thinking about that, I'll actually see where the humans are up to. I think they probably just need more. Yeah, they'll probably just need more. The humans will be happy with what they're getting, but that kind of by definition means I don't have enough for these guys. So let's up their tree count. Basically, hand over the space that we would have normally put in for statues in the human neighborhood, in the Kryptonian neighborhoods for more trees. the northern neighborhood as well. See how that works out. So how do the humans appreciate it? So, sculpture and trees are both trending upward. Or were trending upward. Interesting that stopped trending upward. And benches are still trending upward, although the trend is slowing. So there may be an argument just for more benches as well. In the meantime, while we're waiting for that to sort of equalize out, let's go look at the next one. So everyone's going to want benches at some point, so benches everywhere. Environment, you would... Well, I think you want more torches anyway. But you also want sculptures. You want sculptures like the Etonians want trees. Which is a double dosage. Okay, and then next is get some benches in. Okay. Give some time for that to progress. Goes the siege. About 3.5 days in. Most of the way done. Not completely done, but most of the way done. Benjamin's still trending up. These only need to get up to like 12%, so. So it's collectively only providing 1 point of fulfillment, so it's not the end of the world if they don't get maxed. Same sort of thing on nature. The whole nature is providing 1.5, so it's a little bit more valuable for they get the trees high for the Cretonians. I suppose next up would be these guys in their humidifiers. But everyone else, go to anyone else. Everyone else dislikes the humidifiers, and I can't necessarily keep the Garthemes away, or keep people away from the Garthemes humidifiers easily. In fact, you can see the Garthemi the other way around. The Garthemi are losing fulfillment because they are traveling into other neighborhoods, and then experiencing their nature and sculptures. A little bit of thunder here. They're just saying, man the bug. Okay. Is it fine to make humans do mining, claying, and chopping wood? I think I still love to do only human towns. Can you talk about police changes this patch? Sure. So let me deal with this first. So we've had the population of the city get up to 4.5k. So I now have some more noble promotions, more innovation, and more knowledge. Let's see if I can get the sounds to go away here. So with those noble promotions, that's probably going to be used to generate mostly more admin points, so I can run these new cities. Won't pop in that right away. Yeah, well, swapping out of that menu got the sound to go away. So we had a question. Oh, let me address the questions order. Is it fine to have humans do mining, claying, and chopping wood? The answer is yes. Although it is important to note that if you're trying to get fulfillment from jobs, humans are, for example, average at clay pits and the mining and whatever. Humans are your standard average at everything sort of race. They're a little bit better at farming. They're really better at laboratories and admin and sort of knowledge-based industries they're really good at. But everyone else, every other job, they are skill-wise average. They're as good as you'd expect a person to be. Certain people are better. So, for example, for mining, the Garthimi and the Dendorians are better. But for a lot of the mining you can see here, no one likes ore mining except for the Garthimi. So if you're trying to get fulfillment from job fulfillment, you got a minus 400% fulfillment here. So every person working this job reduces fulfillment like they're 4 at minus 100. And to get the maximum fulfillment, you need 100% fulfillment. So it's you put people in mining, it's very effective at lowering fulfillment. And when I talk about job fulfillment, if you come in to a race and you go down to occupation, you go to this fulfillment here. This is job fulfillment. So you can get up to 3 points of fulfillment from having 100% fulfillment average across the race. And 3 points of fulfillment is not small and trivial. It is quite valuable. But at the same time, if you're doing a one-city focused run, that's hard to do. It depends upon your race and depends on what you're trying to do, but it's usually pretty hard to do. Green bars on here show a value that's between 0 and 100. So a full green bar is 100. So for example, humans get 100% fulfillment working physicians. So if you had everyone as a physician, humans would get that 3 full fulfillment points. A completely empty green bar, like say the Masons here, have 0 fulfillment. The blue bars are numbers that are over 100%. So you can see every 2 humans working in a laboratory would be the equivalent of 1 human working, or one working. Or every human working in the laboratory would be the equivalent of 2 working in the physician for averaging purposes. So you could technically get 100% fulfillment if you've got people working in mines. Mines are just for most of the race, are just very negative. So if you're trying to look for that fulfillment bonus, which you don't necessarily on the current patch need to be on the lookout for. Hello, Prince GK. Answering a question that one of the Twitch headers earlier on said, is it fine to have humans do mining and clay mining and chopping wood and stuff like that? And the answer is yes, but the thing if you're doing that, you're accepting that you're probably not getting this fulfillment bonus. And then the other one is, can you talk about the police change of this patch? So let's go into the law. And in fact, this explains why, going back to the job occupation, why you don't necessarily need to be chasing all the fulfillment as much. On the current patch, we have this stat referred to as tyranny. So this is the ability to basically punish people for doing crime. And by punishing them, generate additional loyalty. So many of the terrible things you get that happen to your town occur due to having loyalty below 100%. Human sounds like there are other species. Yes, in Songs of Six we have 8 different species. There's 2 special ones, but there's six other races. So most of the bad things happen to you when you have loyalty below 100%. Things like emigration, strikes, and riots happen below 100%. Whereas a lot of the good things you might necessarily want, like immigration, come from high happiness. But you don't necessarily need to maintain a high happiness because there is now effectively ongoing population growth in the game. So if you keep people being born quicker than they're dying, your city will just sort of naturally grow over time. Songs of Six, yeah. There's more than 6, obviously, but I suppose that's one riff on the name. But yeah, so normally the ratio of desired fulfillment to actual fulfillment gives you your happiness. Happiness is the baseline for loyalty, plus titles, plus law effects. So you want to always keep loyalty at like 100% and above. It's fine if happiness isn't 100%, but if it's 100%, obviously that makes getting loyalty 100% easier. But with the new police changes, you now get to pick how you deal with crime. So you can do nothing, or you can do some sort of punishment. All the punishments reduce happiness by a small amount, and if you have enough guards to enforce the law, provide law bonus and loyalty bonus, which is kind of the point of tiering. So the higher your, if you have enough guard power, and right now I actually don't have enough guard power, so I'm only getting about a quarter of my law enforcement effect. Is probably a good way to think about it. And that's guard power compared to your population. So I've got about 1,000 guard power, which is about enough to handle a city of 1,000 people, and we got a city of 4,000 people here. And patrol changes too. Yeah, so the patrol changes really, before guards didn't really interact. Well, the town guard didn't really interact, but guard posts would make guard jobs that would interact with law enforcement. Now it's you actually assign the sort of town militia to guard duty. Which I have done to some of the units here. So we got the division, a couple of divisions here. See which ones have been activated with the active duty here, by the shield icon on them. So I don't have all of them assigned. In fact, that would be one way I can increase guard power, so I can just assign more of the militia to be on active duty. Now, you can make your militia guards more effective by giving them equipment. So the better equipped the guys on patrol are, the more guard power they have. So I think like a default basic trained guy like this guy would be worth like 50, because it's 50 guys, would be worth like 50 guard power. But giving them shields and weapons and armor makes them more valuable on patrol, right? So these, in fact, you can see in the tooltip that pops up down here. That, I think, is their guard power. So these guys have a guard power of 247, whereas the 50 guys is nothing. They have a guard power of 41. So it is worth giving equipment to the guards on active patrol. And that's actually, if I wanted to improve guard power, that's probably what I should be doing. I should be building up more equipment so I can have my guards more equipped, not necessarily just more guards. Although, more guards is easy to do. You just train up a bit larger militia. And that's the major change there. And that allows you to sort of disconnect loyalty from happiness. Because otherwise, happiness 1-to-1 becomes loyalty. But then the higher your law, you can see, provides a multiplier on title, on loyalty, or loyalty from the base from happiness and such. And there we go. So you can do the breakdown for law. So I've got a base value of 0.05 law. Our punishment's providing another 18. We got 2 from torches, and then that's being multiplied by guards and guard posts. So I can get a little bit more from more guard posts. I can get a lot more from improving the size of the guard. Or the effectiveness of the guard, really. because it's based on guard power, not on a raw number of guards. That's where that's coming from. And then punishments have an effect on happiness, so we're losing about 1% of the happiness right now. Well, 1% of human happiness, which isn't actually a lot. We're getting 5% law right now. If I were to properly increase the size of the guard, it would actually go up to 8%. I think I'm getting a flat 4% loyalty, it's implying. I'm not sure where that's stacking in there. It's stacking in somewhere. And then that's... And everything's separated by the races. Twitch saying, so now you have to train guard too. Would that take a long time to train? So that depends. So here, I can show by editing one of my existing units here. This is your bog standard militia with no equipment. So this is 50 Tendorians trained the minimum amount. So it takes 10 days to train up 10 guys to march in formation. Not very fancy, but can be trained pretty quickly in 10 days. You can make them better by giving them additional training. This would make them better, would, as you can see there in the bottom right, increase their guard power without actually having to give them any equipment. But each time we do this, this adds more days of training. And more and more and more and more and more. That's melee training. You can also train them up in archery. Same sort of logic going on there. Although they have to have bows for the bow training having an effect on guard power. You can't just train them in guard. You can't train them in archery and give them a range weapon. So how long that takes to train it depends upon how much you want them trained up to. And then we can also see that adding equipment would have effect on the guard power. And so on and so forth. So yeah, you got to train them up, but you always had to train the city garrison up a little bit. The baseline of 10 days for just a trained guy is not too hard. And then it comes down to, do you want to give them equipment, do you want to give them training? I've actually got a lot of training facilities not currently being used, so that makes it tempting to potentially do some more training. So this is a question. If I turn the training up on you, do you stop serving in the guard, the active duty guard? Do that, see what that does. I suspect some will. Because they'll go use the empty training facilities. Or can they both patrol and guard at the same time? I don't know. They might be able to do both tasks at the same time. No, it looks like they can only do one or the other because our guard power dropped while they're doing it. I can tolerate it dropping a little bit at the moment because I'm not reliant on the loyalty yet bonus from the guard patrolling the city streets. When we get later into the tyranny state, we'll need the guard actually guarding. But I'll also improve the quality of them a little bit more, slowly and steadily. Okay, so let me get back to what I was doing. How goes the siege? Almost done. 8 more people to siege out. At the same time, we're going through environments. Nature and sculpture is trending up. Nature is trending up. Sculpture is trending up. I'm not going to do anything to give them the humidifiers because humidifiers will piss everyone else off. I will give them some local benches. Police brutality, yeah. Police brutality... Or at least police detectives is a good way to think about it. Gotta have some detectives on the case to actually enforce the law. Which in this case is if you're murdering people or stealing from people, unless you're humans, you get enslaved. So you like your bodily autonomy, don't commit crime in this city. Okay, so given that'll be some benches for the Garthimi. The Mivians, environment-wise, want sculptures. Okay. That's easy to do. So the Mivians should all live over here. So decoration, sculpture, statue. Apparently going through the cutstone. Cutstone has run out. I'll double check to make sure we're not... Yeah, we're still producing it, although I should probably crank up the production rate. Make sure I have enough to go around. Oops. Yeah, close enough. One errand bench in the middle of the street, that'll be fine. Okay, and then I'm pretty sure the Tilapia are probably going to want nature. You want nature, right? Yeah, nature and benches. And then I'll probably build some more cut stone production. That'll be what I do with the next batch of labor. Okay. And then I do need probably, especially with that new stuff going in, I probably want more cut stone production, so that means I really want another masonry. Okay. So let time advance, let them get done, get the siege done. 5 more to go on the siege. Squalor. Olin Kuanden is usually fertile enough to sustain its population on its own, but a string of bad harvests has emptied its granaries. While your taxes are unaffected for now, your subjects already start to sell the furniture and heirlooms to pay for food. Increasing the squalor in the region is already being talked about abroad, which reflects poorly on me. We'll lower the taxes to get the squalor to go away. So that makes us proves opinion of factions abroad. The cost of the taxes in the region are reduced by half for the duration of that effect, which is 12 days. Okay, well, we're just collecting money from there, so that's fine. In fact, actually, the opinion abroad is probably more valuable than the taxes. At some point, I want to get an alliance with you. Could make them a vassal. That would be one way to deal with them. One man remains in the garrison. One man would probably kill quite a few if we actually try to take it by storm. You're not at 300 yet. There you can have more humans moving in. I think we'll hold off for the moment. Let's finish building that masonry, which should give us more cut stone. There we've got enough, but apparently I've run out because I've got enough ongoing building projects. Yeah, that's looking pretty nice in the tilapia zone. They appreciating the improved trees? Yeah. I got 26% access. They only want 25% access, so that is golden. Only worth half a point of fulfillment, but better than nothing. I can maybe get a few more sculptures for the humans. Sitting around at 10% apparently. Ooh, the Dendorians are happy. They won 25%, they get a 31% apparently. Oh, and I'm forcing everyone to hang out around, in the case of the Toppy, around the torches. At least that provides a law bonus. They don't actually care about the torches. Okay, so most of my people don't care about the death monuments, except for you. They would appreciate not having death monuments, okay. We can upgrade the benches. Well, we've got to research the upgrade of the benches to upgrade the benches. Visit more hospitals. That wouldn't be too burdensome. I'm going to give us some more fulfillment. Outbreak. Dreadful news. On account of the poor health and sanitation epidemic, a swamp lung has been discovered. Okay, so we're getting hit with an epidemic because I haven't kept my health high enough. It's believable. Okay, so I want another 24 caretakers. So it's 3 for each of these. I want 8 more hospitals. Okay. 2 more up here. I think we'll be good. We'll do them over here. Okay. So that should help with hospitals when those get built. In the meantime, things I can do to improve. Did get up to 120 knowledge, so that is actually enough for me to push through down into medicine research, which would obviously help with health. Yeah, unless I'm going to do bathhouses, I'm going to start at coal, which I don't really want to do. Yeah, let's just push through down to medicine research. 2 steps of medicine. Which helps. That's as valuable, well, almost as valuable as the food preference. Oh, and that's actually flat plus 0.6. That's before the multipliers, okay. Innovation, put that into making more bread if I wanted to. 20 admin sitting around. Workforce or safety. Actually, we'll do a bit of both. We'll do 1 in work safety and 1 in skilled workforce. Yeah, second masonry done. We've definitely got more cut stone coming, which is nice. Okay, I think most of these noble promotions want to go into promoting existing governors. Let's go ahead and do that. That leaves me with 1 unused. Okay, so one of the neighbors doesn't apparently... what? Oh. Apparently... Are you 1 province minor? Okay, so the region that we've been laying siege to has... become a proper nation! Only to be conquered by us. Okay, yeah. No freedom for you. Okay, so let's look at our newly conquered territories. Figure out what I want to do where. So this is a decent place for cotton farming. Really good place for vegetables. Really good place for mushrooms. So I might want to develop this as a mushroom farm. So I can import mushrooms. Probably going to be gems if we do anything there. Okay for fruit. I already have a fruit production location. Again, probably just gems or whatever else I don't have a good place for. Would be decent for coal, would be decent for wood. Probably do wood, because then we could free up the existing wood place to do something else. Well, the existing wood place is not really good at anything, honestly. Unless I'm going to import mushrooms. Although, that would be an option. I can import mushrooms from there. And then your veg. Okay. What is the moisture here? 93 with over 100 area. So yeah, this is probably one of the places I want to level up. I've got tech up all the way to large city, which is 40 or 4.8. So let's get the growth target up to 4.8. That's a start. Start with that. And we'll take a workers guild here for a bit of workforce in the realm. I've got the second upgrade, but I don't actually have the workers to work the second upgrade yet. Give a while for that area to grow. Do have an ongoing pandemic, although pandemic's not being too bad. It was technically caused by the poor health, so might not be as severe as the normal pandemic waves you get. It may also be tempting to start distributing fabric to all the hospitals. Think about that. From a service needs standpoint, our people care about how many employees we have in the hospitals, not necessarily how effective the hospitals are. Still in the ones over here. Yeah, they're still building out. So I can check. Yeah, so the graveyards aren't overworked. Is it the mass graves that are overworked? No, the mass graves aren't overworked. I have adequate coverage. I'm trying to figure out why I still got dead out and about. Yeah, the mass graves don't have field coverage. That might be what's going on. Oh no, we got none on the other side of that. Yeah. Is that area big enough to make a big mass graven? Not super effective, only 13, but we'll take it. Succumb to disease. That guy's on patrol are dying out in random places. And we're getting that die off of the pandemic wave. Hopefully the graveyard system can adequately handle that. Although I'm in the process of expanding it, because obviously I presume that it might not be able to. Find one of my graves, check the coverage. Oh, that neighborhood over there could use some. Okay. Looks like we're mostly staying on top of the corpses, which is good. But still do a little bit more health. And the answer there probably just needs to be more food servings. I probably need to distribute more food. Yeah, let's go with more food distribution. Oh, do I have anyone in the stocks? Yes. Captives. Okay. You are all now slaves. Okay, so take more Midians in, which I think we want. Then they can work the fisheries. I don't think I have actually enough to work the fisheries, so 400. Out in the world map, we have you growing. You're ready to go to the next size, so let's do that. There we go. So that, if that's enough health, we'll be fine for the next level. Do worker's office for another horse everywhere. We'll need a little bit more happiness. you're a place that is bordering, has some exposure, so let's give you some garrison. Oh no, the garrison doesn't provide loyalty anymore. Well, probably want to give you some garrison anyway. The inn of a level. And one level not enough. One level not enough. Stage. And then we'll give you garrison just to keep the raid probability at 0. It's not going to take you very long to get to the next city size level. Yep, that. To be fair, the 3% for the Workers' Guilds, because we have cities that are large cities, is non-trivial as far as workforce. 3% of 220 is still like 6 workforce? 6 extra workforce. It's taking us from 16 or from 10 to 16. Surplus here. Anyway, we got a much better woodcutting place than this. So I'll probably move the woodcutting away to something else. Might pick up the... Do I have the innovation to do mushroom farming? Because I need the free tech for it. That's only 10, cheap enough. Pick it up. That means we can do it out on the region map at this point. Oh, before I get too carried away, I should put a part break in here. So if you're watching on YouTube, we will have another part up tomorrow. We are going to record one more part during today's stream. We've got some growth potential in us. As you can see, the humans here are willing to have some migrants coming in. There's probably some stuff I can do to improve happiness of other groups. To grow some of the other groups as well. To be fair, getting mushrooms and vegetables in and more meat and stuff would not be bad, so we'll be looking into doing that. That would be one way to also get health up, is get the food preferences improved. And I think we're still in the middle of a outbreak. So health, the number of sick people should improve as things go on. Yeah, here's where we're going to put the part break in. We've got a loyal, albeit not necessarily perfectly happy nation. Which in some ways is actually good, because I'm trying to do tyrannical stuff, which means I need them to be unlawful enough that they commit crimes so that we can punish them for those crimes. Right now we're pardoning all the minor stuff. If they disrespect us or vandalize stuff, we don't care about that. But anything that's semi-major, like murder or theft, they get... humans are getting imprisoned, everyone else is getting enslaved. I probably could enslave the humans as well, but humans would prefer not being slaves. And we could end up with quite a few slaves if I start enslaving the humans as well. There's maybe an argument to go for the Dendorians and tell them the Dendorian, only imprisoning the Dendorians as well. Of course, I suppose I should... Do I have enough? I have enough prison space for that. Little prison like we have on the island here is working out reasonably well. Although at some point we'll need a bigger prison. But yeah. If you're watching on YouTube, they'll be part of tomorrow. Let me stop rambling here. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to take a short break here to get up, stretch the legs, sip some tea. And then we'll be back to record one more part. So feel free to hang around. I'll try to get the ads out of the way during the ad break. So until the next part, I wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and/or stream. And bye for now.